If you hear injury, consider it synonymous with fascia work. Listen, my baby little channel is growing and I really need your help. Look, massage therapists, we got to stick together. Myofascial release work is not as hard as people think. I think the tendency is that massage therapists use oil or lotion. And the second they use oil or lotion, basically releasing the fascia, the connective tissue underneath the muscle, all surrounding the muscle, underneath the skin, is just unavailable. So there's really two options here. One would be to do all of your fascia work first and then do your oil work. Or I would highly, highly recommend, if you're dealing with injury, anybody that's complaining of a specific injury in the neck, in the back, in the knee, in the hip, to do fascia work always, always, always. If you hear injury, consider it synonymous with fascia work. So it's not that hard. I'm going to show you beginner fascial work, myofascial release. I learned this from a teacher that learned it from John Latz. It's not rolfing, but it's not as subtle as, say, like a John Barnes. This is somewhere in between. I get a great deal of results with my clients, and I'm going to teach it to you today. This is the spine right here, obviously, and then we are going to move off the spine, and I'm going to try to pull tissue away from the spine, okay? So this is super subtle. See what I'm doing with the skin here? I am just touching the skin. I'm pulling the skin taut. Now this is what people would call the hook, okay? So you can do it with your fingers, you can do it with your knuckles. I often do it with these knuckles right here. And then my wrist is straight and I'm really grabbing tissue with these knuckles right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm touching the spine, but I'm not doing any downward pressure. All of myofascial release is very lateral. Okay, so if you're doing downward pressure, you're doing more of a deep tissue thing. What we want to do when we're addressing fascia is 1, no oil, 2, lateral. Okay, so you're going to find the give. Look at the give in the skin. There's always give in the skin. It doesn't matter how athletic you are, how built up you are, there will always be give in the skin. So you want to find the give in the skin, and I'm pulling it right up to the edge of that give. I'm pulling it taut. And then what I'm doing is I'm doing something called a hook. And then I'm hooking, and then I'm kind of hooking up, and then I'm just dragging a little. 1/2 inch to 1 inch is fascia work, okay? Honest to God, many licensed massage therapists think that when they're using oil and doing a similar move, they're accessing the fascia, but they're really not. You can't use oil. I know some people use just the tiniest bit of like a buttercream or something, but I would recommend not, especially while you're getting the hang of the technique. So there are so many things that I do in any given session without oil. So we tend to be very thickened around joints, right? It's an incredible survival mechanism, because if the tissue, in this case mostly fascia and collagen, thickens around a joint, ideally it's going to strengthen and protect that joint. From a survival point of view, that's incredible. We need to protect our joints. But from a thriving perspective, when you thicken around the joints, You can lose range of motion. If you lose range of motion, you're much more likely to get injured as the years go on. And so what we do as practitioners is we help soft tissue open, relax. We're trying to keep those joints stable while at the same time, especially with overuse conditions or injury, any joint is going to be more built up, restricting range of motion. That is why fascia work is so important. Again, because when our range of motion is restricted, our quality of life goes down, and then we are actually more likely to get an injury someday. So, all that to be said, that is why I recommend doing fascia work anytime there's a client with injury. See, I'm bringing the skin taut, I'm hooking, and then I'm leaning forward, very, very lateral. Very lateral. Noticed my split stance with my legs. Notice how close I am up against the table. This is going to give me all my leverage. Okay? So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, I'm going to do it with my fingers just so you can see the pulling of the skin. I'm going from resting skin to pulling it taut. And then I don't like using my fingers like this because it hurts. So because I don't like using my fingers like this, I might do it just to get the right leverage, and then I'm going to change tools. When people talk about doing therapeutic work or doing deep tissue, so much of it is just adjusting your tools. See how my wrists are stacked? See how I'm really just hooking with these two knuckles here. And then my leg is really close. This one is I have a split stance going on here. And I'm just falling with my chest. Falling with my chest. Falling with my chest. So knee here, chest here. See how low I'm getting? Because my whole motion is lateral. So I'm just falling with my chest. And I'm plantar flexing my back leg. Just falling, super lateral. This feels really deep, but it's almost no energy on me. See how my chest is high? You don't need to go like this. You can look out the window if you have windows. You can look at the art on your wall. The only thing that's doing this motion that's very lateral is the plantar flexing of my back foot and, the top part of my body. So you can do fascia work, myofascial release, at any joint site. You can do it anywhere. Well, if you stayed to the end, I'm so grateful. Listen, my baby little channel is growing and I really need your help. Look, massage therapists, we got to stick together. There's corporations taking over our jobs, undercutting our value. There's so much competition everywhere. And first and foremost, what I think trumps all of that is the very fact that really good-hearted people with good hearts are burning out because they're getting injured. So I'm on a public service announcement. I really want to help you. And that's what I try to do in this video. So if you want more, if you like it, if I'm helping you not hurt yourself, please share it with some of your LMT friends. It would really make a big impact on my tiny little baby channel. Thank you so much. Until next time.